I used to weigh 275 pounds, and every time that I tried to lose weight, I would fail. And it was because I was following what everyone else was doing. And I was listening to everything that the weight loss and fitness industry said. And it was causing me to make a lot of mistakes and to go way off track. So in this vid, I want to share the 5 worst fat loss mistakes that I ever made that I see a lot of people still making now. Once I realized what I was doing and I stopped, I was able to lose 130 pounds, and I've kept it off for 10 years. Number 1. Not tracking or measuring your veggies and salads. A lot of people think or hear that these are free foods, so they don't track any veggie calories or salad calories. But every food has calories. So if you're not paying attention to how much you're eating, those calories are gonna add up way quicker than you think. And this is an example. So let's say you think you're eating in a calorie deficit to lose weight, and you think you're eating 1,600 calories a day. You're tracking, counting your calories for everything that you have in your meal plan except your veggies. Well, this is 6 ounces of baby carrots. This is 70 calories. So you think that you're eating only 1,600 calories, but actually you're eating 1,670 calories when you include the carrots that you weren't actually tracking. So you're not actually eating in a deficit when you thought you were. Another thing that people will do is they'll say, I want to lose weight, and they'll start eating salad because they think that it's healthy and it's going to help them lose weight. The problem is when you start having salad, what goes with it? Dressing and toppings. Because people think they're healthy and that salad is a free food, they'll add a ton of dressing and a ton of toppings, and they won't actually track any of it. So you could actually be consuming hundreds of calories without even realizing it. What works for me, and if you're looking to lose weight, the best thing to do is track or portion out all your veggie, salad, dressing, and salad toppings. Make sure you're tracking all of those calories, or at least portioning all of that out, so that you can be sure of how much you're eating and know that you're eating in a calorie deficit. And if you want to know exactly what I ate and did to lose my weight, keep it off, and get in the best shape of my life, I love hearing that. Whoa.
I love seeing those shoulder muscles.
Thanks. I have 4 weight loss ebooks. You can buy all 4 separately and use code Nicole to save yourself 10% off. Or you can buy all 4 in my everything bundle for a cheaper price, and then use code Nicole to save yourself 10% off the already cheaper price for a double savings. The links are down below if you want to check that out. And if you're looking for a baller protein powder, I got you covered, bud. This is HTLT Steps Casein Whey Protein Powder, and this is Maple Cookie. This just came back in stock. It is my favorite flavor. If you want this, get it now because it goes out of stock really quickly. And I just ordered some tonight because I don't want it to go out of stock before I get some. Code Nicole will save you 15% off, and the link is down below for that. I love putting this in my Greek yogurt bowls. It's great in oatmeal, protein pancakes, protein ice cream, everything. Protein is great for weight loss too because it helps you feel fuller longer, and it's normal to feel hungry when you're eating in a calorie deficit.
They have a new cake pop flavor. We haven't tried it yet, but we did order some, so we can't wait to get that one.
Yes, we saw the maple cookie came in stock again, and we saw the new cake pop flavor, and we ordered it all. So it's coming, and we'll tell you how it is once we try it. And if you've tried it or you're trying it, let us know in the comments, because I'm excited for that new flavor and the maple cookie back. Number 2, you're cutting carbs. What is most people, including what Kyle and I did in the past, what do you do when you want to lose weight? You start cutting your carbs, because everywhere you turn, you hear people say, carbs make you gain weight. That's actually not true. If you eat too much of any food, you will gain weight, because weight loss is not about what you're eating. It's about how much. So you need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight, meaning you need to eat a little less of everything. Doesn't matter what you eat. So when you cut carbs, carbs help you have energy. They also help with brain function. So when I used to cut carbs in the past, this is what would happen. I would end up having absolutely no energy. I'd be sluggish, totally fatigued, would want to sit on the couch all day because my neat calories were ruined. Neat calories are any calories that you burn outside of exercise. Any little daily chore you do, cleaning, laundry, going up and down the stairs to do some stuff, that's all neat calories. Well, that all went out the window because I didn't want to do anything when I cut my carbs too low. And then it also, because it helps you with brain function, I started getting foggy headed. I couldn't think very clearly. And when you're tired and you're foggy head and you can't think clear, you start making really poor decisions around food, and it just started to backfire. Also, if you cut carbs, it's not sustainable. I love carbs. Carbs for life. I'm Italian. I grew up on bread and pasta. So for me to think that I could cut out carbs to lose weight and do it for the rest of my life, it's not realistic. So what I started to do is add carbs back in. I eat a balanced diet with carbs every single day, and to get in a calorie deficit to lose the weight, to keep it off, I portion everything out. That way I know that I'm eating a little bit less of everything, but I still have the carbs to help fuel my day, my daily activities, plus my exercise, plus help me think more clear. Number 3, you're confusing healthy food with weight loss. So a lot of people think that when they're gonna start losing weight, if they eat just a bunch of healthy food, they're gonna lose weight. So they start eating only healthy food, but as much as they want. And they have no idea how much they're eating. And healthy food is great, but a lot of it can be calorie dense, like avocado and butter and all these whole foods that people are eating. They can add up very quickly in calories if you're not portioning it out or knowing how much you're eating of it every day. And again, weight loss is not about quality, it's quantity. It's how much. It doesn't matter what you eat. You can eat anything. If I ate all my daily calories in Skittles, but I ate it in a deficit, I would lose weight. If I ate only broccoli in a deficit, I would lose weight. But if I ate Skittles or broccoli in a surplus, I would gain weight. So if you're eating healthy food, that's great. I like to eat a balanced diet, like I said before, of every food group so that I'm getting all the proper nutrients. I feel good, but I'm also eating things that I enjoy too. And I measure everything out so that I know how much I'm eating, and I know that I'm eating in a deficit if I want to lose weight. So if you like to eat healthy, that's great, but that alone is not gonna help you lose weight. You still have to measure or track your calories so that you can eat in a calorie deficit. Number 4, you're over-exercising. Kyle and I are famous for doing that in the past. Usually what people do is they over-exercise combined with cutting their calories way too low and cutting their carbs way too low. What's the first thing that anyone does when they want to start losing weight? I'm gonna exercise. And what they do is they do way too much and way too intense exercise. Usually exercise they're not fit enough to do. And Kyle and I did that in the past too, so we understand. But intense exercise actually doesn't burn as much as you think it does if you're not fit enough to do it. So here's a very recent example, because Kyle and I still forget sometimes, and we'll fall into these moments where we'll do intense exercise thinking it's burning more calories, but it's actually not. In January, we decided to try some HIIT cardio. One day a week, we replaced our normal walk with 30 minutes of HIIT cardio. We are not fit enough to do HIIT cardio. So what was happening is we were doing a lot of breathing heavy and sweating and moving around, but that wasn't burning as many calories as we thought, because most of the heavy breathing was us just standing there going, okay, one more. And, we'd be doing burpees and I'd literally be doing it like this. So oh gosh, another one. So
Took us 30 seconds to do one burpee.
Yeah, when the people on the screen that we were watching to do it, they were doing 10 to 15 in the 30 seconds it took us to do one. So we realized all that got us after the hit was done, we'd be tired, exhausted actually, super hungry, and our weight training was starting to suffer because we weren't able to put all our energy into it.
We were also finding it was really hard to stick to our calories because
Yes.
the backlash of doing intense exercise is you have to eat more.
Yes.
And we weren't eating enough to fuel that, plus not fit enough.
So it's counterproductive to do exercise that you aren't fit enough to do. So once we realized we're needing to eat more, we're exhausted, we didn't want to do anything, we just lay on the couch for the rest of the day.
And it goes back to the neat calories too.
Yes.
Which normally me and Nicole are filming, we're moving around, we're doing things around the house, we're going out to the mall, we're doing lots of stuff. And when we were doing the hit, it's couch time after that.
Yes. And I would do the HIIT cardio before I would go to work, and I would almost be late getting out the door because I would be so tired I could barely move. I would be getting ready, taking a shower so slow. It was affecting my whole day. So we stopped the HIIT and we went back to what works, which is 50 minutes of walking 6 days a week. When I can't make it out for a walk, if I'm working, I'll do 50 minutes on the recumbent bike, but it's all low intensity, steady state cardio. And so if you're wanting to exercise and you're trying to lose weight, find an exercise that you're fit enough to do and find a reasonable time limit to do it in. So for example, when Kyle and I first started, he was 375 pounds, I was 275 pounds. We were really not fit enough to do much, but we could walk. So we decided to walk for 15 minutes every day, rain or shine, at a pace that we could handle, which was very slow. We'd have to take a lot of breaks, but we were consistent with it. So if you pick something that you can handle, that you're fit enough to do, and do it in a reasonable time limit and be consistent with it, you'll be able to keep it up. And after 3 months of doing that, we had found that our stamina was improving and we were able to go a little bit longer.
And guess what we're still doing 10 years later?
Yes,
walking.
Exactly. But we've been able to go from 15 minutes throughout the years we've built it up. We can now do 50 minutes 6 days a week. The only day we don't do it is on leg day because that would be counterproductive. So find something you can do that you enjoy, that you can actually stick to and be consistent with. So there's nothing wrong with intense exercise, but the problem was for Kyle and I that we never did any of that before. The only thing that we'd ever done was walking. So if you're going from being completely sedentary to wanting to try something like jogging, for instance, and you're overweight and you've never done it before, you're not going to be fit enough to keep that up. You're not going to be able to keep that up all the way until you're 60 years old. That's not something you can do for life if you're not fit enough to do it and you've never done it before. You're better off to do something that you can actually be fit enough to do, like a slow walk or a low intensity walk.
Or something else you actually like.
Yeah, walking your dog, cleaning the house, dancing, something you like that you can keep up with. Now, I want to end with one example before I move on. A lot of people will start taking up jogging and they're overweight, they've never done it before, they don't like running or jogging, and they're not fit enough to do it.
They just think you have to because they
Yes.
see everyone else doing it.
And Kyle and I did it, so we understand, we literally did all of this stuff because we thought you had to. Kyle and I, when we're on our walks, because we're out 6 days a week, like I said, we see people for the first time, they're overweight and they're jogging. And we've never seen them before. They look miserable, they're panting, They can only keep up the jogging for a few seconds before they then have to walk the rest of the way, and you can tell they're not enjoying what they're doing. And after that one time, we never see them again, probably because they didn't enjoy themselves. They realize they can't keep that up. They're exhausted and hungry.
Got injured, like their knees or feet or something got injured.
Yep, or injured, and that can happen too if you're over doing an intense exercise that you've never done or you're not fit enough to do. You can injure yourself, and then you won't be able to do anything. So we never see those joggers again. And we always wish we could say, but you have to learn on your own. We always want to say, hey, just walk, but we can't. So we're doing it in this video, and hopefully anyone out there that wants to jog that doesn't like it or might hurt themselves will try walking first. And then if you want to try it after you've been doing walking for a while, give it a try and see if you like it. But just know it needs to be something you can sustain. Number 5, you're not tracking food that says it's 0 calories. This is super confusing because there are lots of foods out there that on the nutrition label on the back say they're 0 calories. It's not actually true. All food has calories. It's just that companies don't have to put it if it's under a certain amount. So what happens is people will go, this is 0 calories, and they eat a bunch of 0 calorie foods and they don't track it and they don't realize there's calories in it. So the calories are adding up, and you're thinking you're in a deficit and you're like, why am I gaining weight? You're not tracking the foods that say 0 calories. So here's a couple of examples. I'm gonna get my phone for this to show you. I track calories on MyFitnessPal. It's like, I just use the free version, but coffee. Kyle and I don't drink it anymore, but I did for years. And I always thought that it was no calories. Well, it actually has a minimum of 2 calories a cup. And I never had just a cup of coffee. Like, I would have a large cup of like 3 cups of coffee. So that's 6 calories. And then what do people always have with coffee? Like, I had mine black, but most people will add something. They'll add cream. So you're thinking, okay, I'm just having a 0 calorie drink here. Well, your coffee of 3 cups is 6 calories. Your cream is 35. You now are drinking 41 calories. And if you do that for 3 times in the day, because most people drink coffee throughout the day, that's 126 calories. And if you're doing that every day, you're in hundreds of calories more than you think you are by the end of the week. And
if you're not measuring, portioning, you wouldn't know what a cup is. A cup is very small. So if you go to any coffee place like Tim Hortons in Canada or Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, most people are not getting a cup of coffee.
Most people, like, I see them getting larges and extra larges.
And it can really throw you off, like Nicole was saying, because your tracking is accurate as you can be. And you're like, well, I'm right on my deficit number. I should be. Well, this could be bumping you over.
Yeah, if you're thinking coffee isn't anything and then you're adding cream and maybe you're not measuring because you're going to like a fast food restaurant, McDonald's, and getting coffee with cream, you don't know how much they're putting in there. It can be really disappointing. Like, if you think you're on track and you get on the scale and you're like not losing weight when you think, like, you're tracking everything and you think you're in a deficit, and you're like, what the heck? You might throw everything out the window because you didn't realize that you just weren't tracking something.
And I think this next one is even a bigger hidden issue than coffee.
Yes. Now, the cool thing is, the next one is cooking spray. The cool thing about this is it seems that companies are actually putting calories on the back now, but for years, the nutrition label would say 0 calories, and I used to go ham with the cooking spray because I thought it was 0 calories. I would do like 30 seconds of spray. Well, it's not 0 calories. Half a second spray is 4 calories.
So just think how long you're spraying the pan for. Is it half a second or less? No way.
No way. So an example, Kyle and I, now that we know this, we track our cooking spray calories, and we have popcorn every night for a snack. We do 6 seconds of cooking spray, and we try to make sure that we're doing 6 seconds so that we're not going over our calories. 6 seconds of cooking spray, 6 seconds of cooking spray, 48 calories. So when I was doing 30 seconds, I was eating a lot of calories of cooking spray.
Yeah.
So always be aware, like, and you don't want to become obsessed or fixated.
Yeah, we don't want you to get pedantic over this stuff.
No, like, don't be counting it. Like, I don't stand there and count it. I just go, okay, that's about 6 seconds.
Just be aware and just like a...
Yeah, and then the other one is... The other one is kernel seasoning. So this one actually does say 0 calories on the back. And just like the coffee and the cooking spray, I would just dump a bunch of the seasoning because I thought it was 0 calories. But everything has calories. So what I do is I try to find, this is my rule if something has 0 calories, I try to find it on MyFitnessPal. I try to find some sort of calorie count. And if I can't, what I'll do is I'll add 5 calories per serving. That way I know I'm at least tracking something, and I'll be better off and probably in a deficit by doing that instead of just calling it 0 calories and having no idea how much I'm actually using. I was able to find kernel seasoning. It's 15 calories for 2 teaspoons and we use 4, so it's 30 calories. And then that's our popcorn, and so the whole total of the popcorn with the spray and the kernels is 318. But that shows you a little bit of how I track the calories and everything for that stuff. So I hope that this helps anybody struggling. Thanks for watching. I'll catch ya in the next vid, honey. I'm a little alien. I'm a little alien with carrots on my ears. Remember, the friends, that weight loss isn't just about the number on the scale. It's also about here and here. Heart and mindset. Fight through it. You can do it. Don't give up.